this device from Elgato is like a custom keyboard. So this is not like an ad or anything. I haven't been paid to talk about this product. This is something I'm buying, investing on with my money, and I'm gonna try it out. So this is a keyboard that you can customize. So each of those icons can be an action, or it can also be a folder with actions. So you can have multiple kind of workspaces, let's say, for each different workflow that you have. For example, imagine that you could have one for live streaming, one for podcasting, one for working with Photoshop, another one for audio editing, or maybe one for Zoom calls. You know, the idea is that I will be able to control things like OBS scenes, or the audio inputs, or like sound effects from Farrago, or things for the podcast, or muting microphones, or things like this, right from this Stream Deck. This, as I said, is a device that is made by Elgato. And what this company does, different peripherals. So I have here on the studio 2 lights from them, and some arms for the camera. And what else? I have an HDMI 4K device that it's plugged right now to my camera setup, and it's what allows me to pipe the video from the Sony Alpha 6500. It's basically an investment to see if this improves my live streaming workflow in any way. And one thing that these guys have is, you know, if you go here, they have different products. And one of the things that they have is the SDK, right? So you can use it as a mobile app or as one of these different Stream Decks. So they have the XL, that is the one I'm buying, the deck, and then the new version of that one that has like a fixed mount here. And then the mini that only has 3 buttons, right? This is 3, 15, and 32. And you can buy a subscription for their app, and then you get something similar with your phone. I don't know if it's only iPhone or if it's Android as well. And then you have the software and the SDK. So I don't know what the SDK has, but I'm going to click on the software right now, because we can download it, and then we can see what we can do. Select your product, Stream Deck XL. So this Stream Deck Mobile is also available for iOS and Android. So this is a free app, but then you have to get an in-app purchase. And then here we have this Stream Deck version for Mac, compatible with all of the different Stream Decks. So I'm going to download it, and I'm going to install it. So I don't have the device, as I said, yet, but we're going to take a look at the software. One thing, for example, that I could do with this device is that I could click on one of the buttons or something, and I want to program something to make a marker on the podcast. So later I know exactly where the chapters start. All right. So this is just installing Stream Deck on my machine. It seems like that worked. So we have this application. So what do we have here? So this is the Stream Deck, and I watched a video yesterday that talks about many predecessors and other options that people have. There has been also a history of people getting custom keyboards, making them, or maybe buying them, and then having to print and cut out and paste different labels to each of the keys, and then mapping those keys to some shortcuts that they want to do. And this basically allows you to have the device actually has a screen, and you can map an icon to each button. So drag an action from the right and drop it on an empty key above. All right. So for example, here I see we have game capture, which I'm not really doing. We have OBS. It talks about OBS scenes, mixer, audio, record, stream, and source, soundboard, play audio, stop audio, Stream Deck. These probably are functions that come with the tool. Create folder, Streamlabs desktop. This is, I think it's a fork of OBS. So it's like a different version that is, I think it's a paid version of OBS. System, so website, hotkey, open, text, multimedia, Twitter, control center. Oh, so this, for example, is probably going to be good for me to have different setups for the lights. Basically, these lights that I have here, because they're Elgato, they get control from Control Center, which is right above here. So this is Control Center. So probably it's going to allow us to tweak a bit the brightness and the color temperature and things like this, and which lights are on or off. We have Twitch Studio, which I don't use because we're not streaming on Twitch. And I think that's it. So this is the default. And then you have this icon. We have the preferences and the Stream Deck store. Let's take a look at the preferences first. Check for updates, brightness. So this is to customize the device. We don't have any devices. Accounts, I guess like this is to synchronize. We have different profiles. So maybe this is useful for podcasting profile or like live streaming podcast profile. And then we can go to the Stream Deck store. And in here, I guess there is going to be like a ton of things to be used. So there's like icons, plugins, music, sound effects. Let's take a quick look here at this plugins, right? So Twitch Studio comes installed by default, which for example, I don't need that one. Twitch, always be on time. Toggle the mute for audio sources such as microphones or speakers. Streamlabs. What is this? Plugins most popular. Control YouTube. Philips Hue. Control your Philips Hue lights. That's nice. Discord. Control Discord. Zoom plugin. This one is nice. Spotify integration. Stocks. All right. So I guess there is a ton here, and I'll have to take a look. Oh, nice toggle. As you can see, there are a ton of applications. So I guess. Okay, I hope that was useful. Feel free to like the video if you enjoyed this content and to subscribe if you want to get notified when I upload future videos. Thanks for watching. Bye.